Hello, if you can tell, you may or may not be able to, but I have a new camera and I'm recording with it for the first time for YouTube. I will be using it a lot more often on this channel, not for every single video because that would require more work on my part, but I'm using it today for the first time and that's exciting. And today I'm going to be talking about this book, Me Before You by Jojo Moe, I don't know how to say her last name. But I thought I'd do like a dual review of the book and the movie at the same time in the same video. But I'm going to be talking spoilers for both the book and the movie, so if you haven't read and or seen the story, click out and come back later. So I'm going to talk a bit about the book first. I read the book like 2 weeks ago and it only took me a few days. It's a pretty easy read. And I'm going to be honest, the first time around with the story, when I read the book, I wasn't blown away like everyone else seemed to be. While I do love the characters, I love Lou and Will. I think they're both such like interesting, like enthralling characters to read. Lou is like a big ball of sunshine, and I love her, but there's so many different levels to her too, and Will obviously is a very complex character who has a lot of emotion that you don't ever really get to see completely anyway, but I loved their characters. When I read the book the first time, what got me through it is that I loved the characters and I wanted to see how things turned out. And as soon as Lou found out about Will's plan, I was pretty sure that's how it was going to end, but I kept reading hoping maybe it was going to end a little bit more happy, and I think when I got to the end and he did go through with his plan, I think that's part of why I didn't really like the ending, because it was a bit disappointing. I'm kind of a sucker for a happy ending most of the time, but I just, the first time around, I felt like it was an ending that didn't have any hope. It didn't, I don't know, it was just a bit down for me, and obviously it was a bit down, I mean, Will died, but I didn't really see the point of the ending. I'm like, why did I go through all of this just to see the end to see it end like this? And while I still did enjoy the story and I enjoyed her writing and the characters, I was a bit let down. And then I went and saw the movie last night, and the movie allowed me to see the story from a different perspective, I think, and it made me enjoy it a bit differently and a lot more. And now looking back at the book, I like the book better too through the movie, because I think the movie allowed me to see these characters from just a bit of a different perspective. And obviously the movie is very close to the book because it's written by the same person, but I think that's part of what allowed me to see through the characters a lot better in the movie. And well, obviously the book is really, really well written. I think the movie was just, it was just twinged a little differently for me to be able to see and understand these characters a lot more. Because the thing in the book that I didn't like initially was the ending. It was Will's plan and the fact that he went through with it. But I think in the movie I was able to see Will's struggle a lot more than in the book, and I really understood where Will was coming from, and I understood that this was Will's decision, and it was, to him, it was what was right for him. And while, you know, obviously it's not right for everyone, it was his choice. And through Sam Claflin, through his acting and through the writing of the screenplay and through all of that, I was really able to see Will's perspective a lot better than I did initially when I read the book. Another highlight of the movie was Emilia Clarke's acting as Lou. She was just adorable. I loved her. She was so like lively and just, I don't even know how to explain it. She was just so amazing to watch. Like you just can't help but love her as Lou. And I saw a interview with the two of them, and I think it was Sam that said Lou is just a character you can't help but love. Like, when she smiles, you're smiling, and when she cries, you're crying, and I think that definitely rang true in the film. I really loved watching her performance as Lou, and I love Lou as a character in general, because I feel like anyone in any way of life could find something and connect to her, because she's such a well-rounded yet imperfect character, and I really connected with her a lot. I loved her character. Plus, her outfits were so much fun. I'm like, where can I get your wardrobe? Because while they're very out there, they're just a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that part of the film. I also enjoyed the humor in the film. That was a lot of fun too. It was just little, because it is, if you took out the humor, it's a dark story. Well, not dark, but it's a sad story. It's a little down. But the humor really added fun to it, and I loved seeing the relationship between Will and Lou build throughout the movie and throughout the book. And that was just a lot of fun. The one part of the movie I didn't like is they left out one of my favorite parts from the book, which I just read an interview with the author, and she's like, we tried to fit it into the film, but it didn't fit the tone that they were working with. But one of my favorite parts in the book is when Lou goes into the maze in the castle, and she sort of freaks out, and just like almost like a panic attack, and Will comes and finds her, and he calms her down, and Louisa tells him about what happened all those years ago when she was in the maze with all those boys, and the conversation they had was such a real, like, human conversation, and in that scene, it wasn't about the romance between Will and Lou. It was just like the connection between two humans, and what Will told her. It was like, it's not your fault. You can't let that one night of your past define who you are today and what you're going to be in the future. And I just thought overall it was really an amazing scene, and I very much enjoyed it. And I'm a little sad it didn't make it to the movie, but I also understand why it had to be cut, because it didn't really fit in the movie. And you can't have every detail from a book in the movie. I understand. One of my favorite scenes in the movie is actually, I think I liked the ending a lot more in the movie than in the book, even though they're virtually the same. But just to see it visually translated for me onto this big scale of like a movie, it was a lot more sweet than I had read it in the book. I was able to see it a lot differently, which I really liked. And just the way, again, I think it must have been the actors, the way they played it, rather than how I had been playing the characters in my head kind of thing. I enjoyed that a lot, and it made me see the ending a lot differently. And I ended up really liking the ending, even though, I wish everyone could have lived happily ever after and, been in love, and it would have been great. But I understand the ending a lot more now, and I really, really enjoyed it, the entire story. As a whole, I think I'm going to give the book a 9 out of 10 Bumblebee Tights, because it was really good, but I'm just a 9 out of 10 just because. Though I feel like if I went back and read it after seeing the movie, I could enjoy it more than I did the first time. Although I think that's true of any book. When you reread a book, you get to experience it a lot differently. That's why I love rereading books. So maybe I'll revisit this later this summer. And then I'm going to give the movie 10 out of 10 Bumblebee Tights, because I loved the movie and I kind of want to go see it again, to be honest. Just because it really opened my eyes to the story a lot more than when I had initially read the book. So it was cool for me to learn to accept the story and really learn to love it as I was watching the movie. For today, I hope you enjoyed watching my thoughts on this Me Before You phenomenon. As always, like, share, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Follow me on Instagram at spiritmc_meetsworld. Or if you want to hear me talk some more about books, follow me on my Bookstagram account at theworld.in.words. And I will talk to you guys next time. leave you with one thing, the tagline from this book, which is live boldly. Bye.